the top most anticipated, my top most anticipated comic books that are brand new runs starting in February. So this is an article series that I do pretty what is it, about once a month I do this anyway. And this time I thought it would be a little bit more fun, instead of making everybody read about it all the time, that we'd actually talk about them.
We're getting with the times. We're like, hey, like just
right.
to me. It's fine.
Hey, don't tempt me. I'll go back to print.
No.
I'll start sending people letters.
No, but I will say though, like your stories were awesome. I mean, I've learned, again, and this is like on a small, not so serious scale. There's been shows I've learned from Pooja, who's our movie critic at Nerd Initiative, like her recommending shows or movies. The same thing with comics with you. Like there's stuff I've never heard of, and I'm so out of touch of modern comics, but it's really a great window and a great door into what's coming out now. And I mean, the storylines are so good these days. So I think they're print, video, whatever they are, they're fantastic. So it's
and especially right now, they're getting really interesting this year, because there's a lot of characters that haven't had a run in a while. They're getting runs. Like Marvel, for the next one coming out, is Silver Surfer Ghostlight. That's John Jennings and Valentina De Landro, and that's coming out on the 1st. But this one, basically a young girl has moved to a very small town called Sweetwater, but apparently nothing is as it seems, because there's some mystery that she stumbles on that's serious enough that the mystery, like the situation itself, summons this Silver Surfer out of like the abyss.
Okay.
So it doesn't really give any information other than there's also a teaser for who or what is Ghostlight.
I was gonna say, it looks like, let's get that photo back up. It looks like, is there 2 Silver Surfers now? Like, again, I'm so out of touch.
That's what I don't know. I believe this is a brand new character getting introduced, from what I understand.
So that's kind of cool.
But they haven't said if that's going to be like a new villain or a new version of Silver Surfer, or I'm not sure, because if that's Ghostlight on the cover, then he looks just like Silver Surfer with some extra colors added on.
Well, I will say, like, I mean, look, like, for those that don't know, the backstory of Silver Surfer, he was the herald for Galactus, right? And he sacrificed himself to save his planet. And so, you know, it would make sense that if there are other world eaters or, you know, other things out there, there could be other heralds, and maybe this one's a little bit more nasty than the original Silver Surfer. So that would be pretty interesting.
And especially like if it's starting in this really small town, like what does that mean? Is this like a character that's been like undercover on Earth for a long time, or you know, like I say, that's literally the entire description that they give. Like they don't tell you a whole lot at all about these books sometimes.
That could be interesting. It also has kind of like a Roswell feel to it too. I wonder if they're, you know, again, like when you were the second you were describing like the small town thing that's unearthed, like I just thought of like, you know, Roswell and like, what is it? Area 57 and or is it 51? Yeah, and
51,
yeah. I mean, that's the feel I got. And maybe to your point, maybe it is a character, and maybe it's going to be like a human being trying to save our planet.
Right. Well, because the only other thing they say is that introducing something 54 years in the making. So they're making it sound like this is something that Silver Surfer has been building to.
So wait, so Silver Surfer, I guess that wouldn't add up. I'm trying to look up.
When did Silver Surfer debut?
Fantastic 448. So
that would have been a little more than 54 years ago, though, wouldn't it?
That's what I was saying. I don't think the numbers add up. It's 66. So I'm not.
Let's say what happened 54 years ago in Silver Surfer.
So if you're looking at 54, let's do the math here, and everyone can sit on this while we try to figure this out. Wait, so we're 23. So 23. So you're looking at 23 minus, so you're looking at, what is it, 31 extra years? So we're looking at 69, right? So what happened to Silver Surfer in 1969? I'm gonna look it up.
See, we need a Jamie looking stuff up for us and talking in our ears.
Well, I was gonna say we need like we
like the guy on Joe Rogan's podcast. He's got that guy off screen who just looks all his stuff up.
Remember who does Around the Horn on ESPN? He was like Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what is 1969? That makes a lot of sense. Hold on. Let me get we're going to do this in real time, my friend.
Hey, the perks of being live, right?
Yeah. So wait, hold on. You might have just heard that because I took a screenshot. And this could be a couple of things because there's a couple. So the Silver Surfer run, I believe, started the actual series started in '69. And that could also be, it could be a red herring that is just alluding to the fact that the Silver Surfer run started in '69.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's always one of those.
But I will say there are, and I'm adding the photo in now. This is cool in real time. There's a couple iconic photos and covers from that original run, including that cover is 1969. But you know what also is, hold on, give me a hot second to work with this.
Because I'm also sitting here in my head because I was a big Silver Surfer fan for a long time, so I'm trying to think of like plot holes and cliffhangers that they never explained.
There is one more cover, and again, I think this is all red herrings, but it could be super interesting if it's not. So the issue right before that one that I mean that the whole beginning of the Silver Surfer run is phenomenal. This is Silver Surfer 4. It's an iconic cover, a very expensive book because it's just like one of those like covers that's like, you know.
I saw it raw recently going for like 800, 1200.
Yeah. But you know what also came out in that time? So the issue before, Mephisto. So we're talking about 69, and what is that? Oh, maybe not. So that's December. Whatever. It came out probably in January. I don't know. So this one must have been January then, right? Does it have the date? February. Yeah. So there's a lot of interesting things that were in 1969. So yeah, who knows? It could be Silver Surfer's that's one of those individual runs. Like he's a very popular character, but that's one of those individual runs that has a cult following because there were so many good characters to come out of those like first 5-10 books. And you know what, they did come out every 2 months because remember the Mephisto book, I have it actually, is one of those extra thick books. It's like the giant size X-Men
okay, so it's like the 64 pagers or whatever.
Yeah, so it's got the flat spine because it's so big. So
gotcha.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what this is, and it also could just be, again, like I said, it could be a red herring where they're just saying like the series started in '69.
Right, so exactly. That's why I'm not like super getting my hopes up, but it's rare that I even have a Marvel or a DC book on my most anticipated lists because I'm a huge indie reader. So I figured the Marvel junkies amongst us would appreciate that one for sure.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. And then we finally got to get Mephisto in the MCU at some point, but apparently he's rumored to be in. Is it Ironheart or is that BS?
That's the rumor that keeps going around, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like if any character was going to get Mephisto first, it would probably be Spider-Man.
Or Fantastic Four.
Or Fantastic Four. It would be one of those two. I don't feel like it would be Silver Surfer or Ironheart.
I just don't think. I think when the Fantastic Four movie comes out, I do not think they can go with Doctor Doom again as the main villain. And like, it's just, you can't do that
straight away.
Yeah, you got to build up to it. You can't do that 3 times in a row. It's just, it would be just too much. So there's going to have to be someone new as the main foe in that film. So only
one of the only other big Fantastic Four villains at one time was the Silver Surfer. So, I mean, they could do that again. I think the design of Silver Surfer in the first movie was really, really good. But
well, it was also played by Doug Jones, who is an iconic. He's kind of like the Andy Serkis before Andy Serkis. So to know, you know, he was in what's the movie that we watched on Stream Lounge together that he was in, Hocus Pocus.
Yeah,
iconic. I mean, Doug Jones is like one of those incredibly talented like guys, and so he played Normrad. And it just, obviously the movie was just not great. But
I mean, let's be honest, the movie was to show off Jessica Alba.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the whole point of that movie.
No one will ever get over, and I think we can prep clips in the future, really cool ones, but no one ever gets over Mr. Fantastic's wedding dance is the best part of that whole thing. Where he his arms are like this and he's doing that. Yeah, and
Yes.
nothing ever beats that. That was the word. I mean,
Who wouldn't do that if you could do that, though? I mean, that'd be probably the first thing I'd do if I had those powers, would just to be that dance. Like, but yeah. Are we still got you? Oh, okay, you froze for a second.
oh no, okay, I'm back.
Okay.
So I guess that's the
But
cue to move on to the next one.
right. Well, the next one actually comes out on the same day unless it gets delayed, but it's from Image and it's called Blood Tree it's Peter Tomasi and Maxim Simic.
Okay.
And this one is basically two obsessive it says two obsessive NYPD detectives go after a vicious serial killer known as the Angel Killer, whose only prey is innocent family members of known convicted murderers
Oh Lord.
in order to quote unquote purify society.
Well, that just sounds rough.
I was gonna say, like, that is taking something like that to the extreme. Like that, like I understand, you know, if you're like Dexter. Did you ever see the show Dexter?
Oh yeah, yeah. I would.
Where it was the serial killer who only killed other killers, right?
Mhm.
Well,
I
this
was
guy
supremely
doesn't kill
disappointed
the
with the.
killers. He kills
Yeah,
the killer's family members.
yeah. That's unfair. Like,
Like,
no, like
what did they do?
I mean, I have a sister who is, has some morally reprehensible, things, but I hope no one comes after me because of my sister. And she's not a serial killer, so let's not go there. But
Right.
she's got some questionable character, so like I would not want to be like guilty by association because of that.
Right. That's
So
basically what it is, right? That's guilt by association, like 100%. But I think it's really cool because you don't really see a whole lot of like detective stories for
mhm.
comic books anymore, even though, detective comics, but show me a detective comics run that actually had a lot of detective work in it recently.
Yeah. Well, you can
Like
take it back to
real
nine.
detective work, not,
Yeah.
Batman's new ultra high tech nanotech freaking
Yeah, I was gonna
adaptive
say,
suits and, you know, like
but
this
yeah,
sounds like it's
that's
gonna
one I
be
gotta
more
check
along the
out.
lines of like some Dick Tracy actual detective story.
Yeah. That I like that. That's really cool, actually. But all on top of that, like I was saying earlier, I was supremely disappointed with the. I don't know if you've seen the latest season of Dexter, which
I have
was.
not how they've rebooted it, basically, it's like version 2 because he's in Alaska now, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, and they teased it. Like, I mean, I don't know if they planned on doing that from the start. They teased it at the end of the run.
Mhm.
Obviously, like not to give away too much, but he's in the situation he's
I'll say,
kind
if
of
you
at
haven't
now.
seen that show by now, spoiler warning is way expired.
Like 20 years. Yeah, like all right.
I don't know if it's
Yeah,
20 years old, but it's old now, like, it's at least a decade
it's
old.
pretty old. I think Dexter. It's got to be over 10. I think. It's been a while
Because if it
since the
was
original show.
20 years old, that means it would have came out when I was 12?
Okay, so let me
And I
see.
know I wasn't that young.
It's pretty old, dude. 2006.
Okay, so it started when I was
Like
16.
17 years. That's old. That's a pretty old
Okay,
show.
dang.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, look, when Dexter, I don't know if they got married during or not, but remember Dexter was married to Deborah when the show was going on
You're
in real life.
right, I forgot about
And they
that.
got divorced and yeah, this whole thing. So I mean, man, that is.
That had to have been an interesting acting challenge,
And
dealing
then I
with
think
girlfriend, then wife, then ex-wife all in the same show.
I'm actually doing the research now. So remember Aster? Remember the daughter
Mhm.
of. She's like, that's weird too, because this is not for anything. She's not in the follow up. She's 25 years old. I remember Aster, and I'm trying to think. She looks familiar. Like I've seen her in another show. She probably is still an actress. That would make sense. But she was like an 8-year-old, 9-year-old child
I was to
star, and
say, yeah,
I'm looking
like,
at photos now, and she is a grown up 25-year-old woman, and that
that's
is
crazy.
bizarre to see.
It
That's
just shows you how
crazy.
quick time goes by when you're not paying attention.
That is crazy.
All
All right,
right,
what's the
so
final?
I got one more, and that is called Blue Book. This is a new one coming out of Dark Horse on the 22nd by James Tinian IV and Michael Avon Oeming. And it's probably no secret to anybody that follows me on any other apps that Tinian is like one of my favorite comic book writers of all time. And this is interesting because you don't see a lot of comic books adapted from real life stories.
Okay.
And this series is he's calling it his series of true weird stories. So these are actual real stories that happened in real life that he is putting into comic books. And the first run of it is 5 issues going over the original alien abduction.
What
The
does that
original
mean?
story of it, which was I'm trying to remember the couple's name. Let me get on here. It was Betty and Barney Hill abductions, where they were driving in their car late at night. A light appeared over top of them and they were abducted. And then they spent like years and years and years trying to find the aliens and prove that this story was real. And like, so this is all a real story that happened back in like the 50s, right around the time of all the Roswell stuff and all that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it really directly and clear. Hard pass. Scares the absolute hell out of me. So that is a hard pass.